Welcome, have a nice day. Today is Tuesday, 7th of January 2025. Orthodox Christmas. Today marks the celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ according to the Julian calendar observed by some Eastern Orthodox churches. It is a significant religious and cultural holiday for millions of Orthodox Christians worldwide. From the history point of view, on 7th of January in Indian history, a significant date in Indian history, we pay tribute to the iconic filmmaker Bimal Chandra Roy, born on 12th July 1909 in the village of the Spur in East Bengal, Bangladesh. Roy was a visionary director known for his powerful storytelling and deep social consciousness. From the world news including Justin Trudeau resigns, what happened now in Canada. United States certifies Trump election victory with Harris presiding. Justin Trudeau's timeline, major milestones, and leading to his resignation. Justin Trudeau resignation. Live update is Canada Prime Minister says he will step down after new Liberal Party leader is announced. Canada Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announces the resignation. Country deserves a real choice in election. Bangladesh court issues second arrest warrant against ex-Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Now from the Hindu newspaper, Indonesia is admitted to the BRICS bloc of developing nations, Brazil announces. Handout picture released by the Brazilian presidency showing the Brazil's President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva posing for a picture with Indonesia's President Prabowo Subianto before the launch of the Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty and the first session of the G20 leaders meeting in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil on November 18, 2024. Brazil on January 6, 2025 announced that Indonesia had become a full member of BRICS, a bloc of developing economies increasingly seen as a counterweight to the West. Brazil, which holds the rotating presidency of the growing in 2025, said Indonesia's bid to join the bloc had been approved during the summit in 2023 in Johannesburg. Indonesia's candidacy was endorsed by BRICS later in August 2023. Indonesia has been admitted as a full member of the BRICS bloc of developing economies. The group's presiding country, Brazil, announced on Monday on January 6, 2024. That is yesterday. Indonesia's candidacy was endorsed by BRICS leaders in August 2023. According to the Foreign Ministry of Brazil, which holds the group's presidency for 2024. However, the world's fourth most populous nation opted to formally join the bloc only after the formation of its newly elected government last year. The Brazilian government welcomes Indonesia's entry to the BRICS, the government said in a statement. With the largest population and the economy in the Southeast Asia, Indonesia is sharing with other members a commitment reforming global governance institutions and contributes positively to deepening the South-South cooperation. BRICS was formed by Brazil, Russia, India, and China in 2009 and added South Africa in 2010. Last year, the alliance expanded to embrace Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia, and the United Arab Emirates. Saudi Arabia has been invited to join but has not yet done so. Turkey, Azerbaijan, and Malaysia have formally applied to become the members, and a few others have expressed an interest. United States Congress certifies Trump election victory for January 20 inauguration. Vice President Kamala Harris reiterates the result of House Speaker Mike Johnson listeners during a joint session of Congress to confirm the Electoral College votes affirming President-elect Donald Trump's victory in the presidential election on January 6, 2025 at the United States Capitol in Washington, D.C. Congress certifies our great election victory today, a big moment in the history. MAGA, Mr. Trump wrote on his social media platform Truth Social. The United States Congress formally certified Republican President-elect Donald Trump's November election victory over the Democratic Vice President Kamala Harris, is clearing the way for him to be sworn in January 20. The certification of the election results on Monday, January 6, 2025, in the 50 states and the District of Columbia was accomplished in a brief formal ceremony during a joint session of the House of Representatives and Senate. It was presided over by Ms. Harris, acting in her vice presidential role as the President of Senate. The coronial ritual stood in sharp contrast to 4 years ago, when a mob of Trump supporters stormed the Capitol in a failed bid to block the certification of their President Trump's 2020 loss to Democratic President Joe Biden. Mr. Trump continues to falsely claim that his 2020 defeat was the result of the widespread fraud and had warned throughout his 2024 campaign that has harbored similar concerns until his November 5 defeat of his Miss Harris. According to the Hindustan Times newspaper states that India Canada ties under the Trudeau how promise of the sunny and tears gave way to distrust. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announces his resignation as a Liberal leader and Prime Minister outside a radio cottage in Ottawa on Monday. When Justin Trudeau swept into power in 2015 with a majority mandate, it was partly due to his campaign slogan of sunny days resonating with voters. Some of those days of positivity impinged upon bilateral ties with India too. Trudeau, then leader of the Liberal Party, met India's Prime Minister Modi in Toronto when the latter visited Canada in the spring of that year. After the election, Trudeau's mandate a letter to his international trade minister Chrystia Freeland expected to focus on expanding the trade with the large, fast-growing markets, including India. A warning against HMPV panic. For everyone holding their breath over fears of HMPV, here is a quick summary. It is an old ailment caused by the known pathogen, and many people are likely to have been exposed to the virus by the time they are 5 years old. In a read on and good book, it says don't panic. Several states on Monday announced that they had detected infections of the human metapneumovirus HMPV days after the reports of an outbreak in China caused concerns in India, especially as it came on the 5th anniversary of the SARS-CoV-2 outbreak in the Asian nations, while news of its early spread was regarded to have been suppressed. But the current outbreak, there is no reliable confirmation whether there even is a concerning outbreak of HMPV in China, poses no reasons for alarm. Experts and officials reiterated on Monday amid growing panic in India. For the current outbreak, there is no reliable confirmation whether there even is a concerning outbreak of HMPV in China. Poses no reasons for alarm. Experts and officials reiterated on Monday amid growing panic in India. Once again, it is emphasized that HMPV is already in circulation globally, including in India, and cases of respiratory illness associated with HMPV have been reported in various countries, stated India's health ministry. Nothing that current data from both the Canadian Council of Medical Research (ICMR) and Integrated Disease Surveillance Program (IDSP) show no unusual surge of influenza-like illness (ILI) or severe acute respiratory illness (SARI) cases in the country. Going towards the economy of the country from the business point of view, Sensex Nifty plunged over 1.5% on FPI selling new virus scare. The market capitalization or the total value of all listed shares of the Building Stock Exchange Limited was declined by the rupees 10.98 lakh crore or to rupees 438.7 lakh crore. Domestic stock markets witnessed a sharp decline on Monday, with the Sensex and Nifty falling by 1.6% on concerns over the outbreak of human pneumonia virus. HMPV muted corporate earnings during their third quarter and continued selling by foreign portfolio investors. Budget 2025 AMFI calls for a restoration of long-term indexation benefit for debt funds. The budget 2023 discontinued the indexation provision for new investments Prospectively, from April 1st, 2023, in the budget of 2024, the short-term capital gains tax was hiked from the 15% to 20%, increasing tax liability by 30%. The process and technology overhead at the end of the global climate policy. A demonstrator displays hands that read "Pay up" during a protest for the climate finance at the conference of Party 29, United Nations Climate Summit in November 23, 2024 in Baku, Azerbaijan. Climate conference in Baku in 2024 turned the climate treaty on its head by scrapping the defining feature of the post-colonial world divided between the donors and recipients and suggesting the need for an alternate global sustainability form. The shift requires that developing countries take charge of their own destiny. The purpose of the climate treaty in 1992 was to collectively deal with the common concern in an unequal world. This was defined by the G7 reducing future emission of carbon dioxide. And despite the treaty acknowledging the cumulative emissions along the matter, developing countries agreed to take on the problem they do not create in exchange for the technology transfer and funds, and not realizing that the imbalance in research capacity had set the stage for shifting the burden. The backbone of the current agreement is the disconnect between the academic treatment and the rules and practice, providing continuing advantage to the G7. The way global concerns have been selected, agenda defined, and rules implemented all the time, dealing with the symptoms rather than the cause of problems provides a continuing advantage to the G7. The pressure to provide incentives for private finance and dealing with the trade restrictions at the same time was never part of the grand bargain. The G7 have now absolved themselves of any responsibility for climate change, with the India's words, the optical illusion of the providing financial support by 2035. Civic states, a new tool reveals hires a genetic view of the people's ancestors. Tracing genetic ancestry, in the particular across the populations, remains a challenging task. This is because population across geographical regions often tend to be very similar, statistically speaking. A fresh analysis using civic states has determined more precisely than ever individual layer ancestry at a very high resolution, and international collaboration was unable to revisit the ancestry of population groups in the far-flung western frontiers of the Roman Empire in the first millennium AD. Prehistoric human ceremonial burials, mass grave mounds, and war graves scattered around the world are a treasure trove of ancient genetic material that scientists consider key to unlocking the secrets from our past, the ancient DNA, as these sites open windows into the population dynamics, including the expansion and replacement of the population using the peaceful, natural, or violent means. And mixture events involving two or more subpopulations, cultural transition, migrations for hunting and wealth at individual, local, and global scales. This tracing genetic ancestry, in the particular across the population, is still remaining a challenging task. This is because our populations across the geographical regions often tend to be very similar, statistically speaking. Human metapneumovirus, let's have calm down first. Once again, for infectious disease specialist, HMPV is well-known pathogen and has been circulating in the most countries, including India, for quite some time. Human metapneumovirus (HMPV) is certainly making headlines, but not for the reason one might expect. Over the last week, India has witnessed a barrage of sensational media reports claiming the emergence of the new dangerous virus, supposedly originating from China, spreading across India and the world. The memories of the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic, which are full of cryptic information and absolute unfamiliarity among the experts and the public alike regarding a new dangerous virus, are probably the reason why the news of HMPV is spreading like wildfire in India. The unnecessary media scare has created confusion and anxiety among the public and even among some healthcare professionals. While it is reassuring that some sections of the media continue to adhere to fact-based and scientific reporting, it is disheartening to see others indulging in the scaremongering, often without consulting experts or verifying the facts. Public awareness about the outbreaks typically comes from the experts and organizations such as the Indian Health Ministry. However, in the case of HMPV, the situation seems reversed. Even experts are learning about the so-called new virus through the media reports. Over the last weeks, I have received several phone calls for senior doctors across the country inquiring about this new dangerous virus. The misinformation actually has led to unnecessary panic among the healthcare providers and public alike. Surprisingly, many of the hyped up articles any quotes input from the medical experts raising questions about the credibility of such reporting. Now, at last, there's a famous personality of India who is a famous scientist as well as the former president, Mr. APJ Abdul Kalam, whose full name was actually Oval Pocket Channel of Abdul Kalam. Birth anniversary 15 October 1931, up to 27th of July 2015, was an Indian aerospace scientist and a statesman who served as the 11th President of India from 2002 to 2007. Born and raised in the Muslim family in Rameshwaram, Tamil Nadu, he studied physics and aerospace engineering. Spent the next 4 decades as a scientist and a science administrator, mainly in Defense Research and Development Organization, an Indian space research organization, and was intimately involved in India's civilian space program and military missile development efforts. He thus came to be known as the Missile Man of India for his work on the development of ballistic missiles and launch vehicle technology. Also played a pivotal organizational, technical, and political role in India's Pokhran nuclear test in 1998, first since the original nuclear test by India in 1974. Kalam was elected as the 11th President of India in 2002. This